There's a saying in the workshop, 90% of finishing is all in the prep. And you know it's true. The outcome of any woodworking project, no matter how beautiful the joinery, is determined by the surfaces you touch and see. Yet most people try to shortcut this part. The temptation is real. Sanding is messy, tedious, and frankly, exhausting. But in that shortcut lies the difference between a finish that radiates under raking lights and one that reveals every flaw, every imperfection, every corner cut. Today, we're raising the stakes, because what you skip in prep, you'll pay for in the final reveal. So, what about those viral hacks you see all over your feed? You know the ones. Someone grabs a household item, slaps it onto a sander, or skips half the grits, and suddenly, they're promising you hours saved and a finish just as good. We're about to put 5 of the most popular hacks to the test. In this montage, you'll see each one: a can of olive oil as lubricant, a wild leap from 80 to 320 grit, using a brown paper bag for ultra-fine sanding, a dryer sheet polish, and the infamous no-tack cloth compressed air shortcut. All of them claim to hack your way to perfection. But before we dive in, let's set the standard. Here's our control sample. Perfectly sanded, finished using a traditional grit progression, and examined under high-intensity raking lights. Every pore, every fiber is laid bare. This is what a pro-level finish looks like. No shortcuts, just patience and attention to detail. This is the benchmark against which all hacks will be measured. Let's start with the unconventional lubricant hack. You've seen it. Someone slathers olive oil, WD-40, or even dish soap onto the wood before sanding, claiming it keeps dust down and delivers a glassy, smooth surface. On the surface, it feels convincing. As I rub my hand across the wood, there's a deceptive slickness, not the dry, dusty feel we're used to. But let's look closer. Under macro photography, we can literally see the aftermath: microscopic valleys and compressed fibers, almost like a tiny lunar landscape. These lubricants may reduce friction, but they also clog abrasives and trap heat, causing uneven surface trauma. Here's the physics behind the illusion. Lubricants fill in valleys temporarily, making the surface feel smooth to the touch. But as the wood dries, those valleys reappear, and worse, the lubricant can interfere with stain or finish adhesion. The heat generated from this method can also burnish the wood, closing the pores and creating an uneven surface that rejects finish entirely in places. It's a shortcut that looks and feels right until you see the aftermath under magnification. To really hammer it home, I'm going to shine a raking light across the board. Suddenly, what felt smooth is a field of ridges and dips, the light catching every flaw. This is the hidden cost of the lubricant hack. Damage that you can't see until it's too late. In the pursuit of speed, we've traded surface integrity for a fleeting illusion. Now, let's push the limits with the extreme grit jumping hack. This one's everywhere. Skip the middle steps and jump straight from 80 grit to 320, saving yourself a ton of time. At first, the logic sounds compelling. Let the coarsest grit do all the heavy lifting, then let the finest grit smooth everything out, right? But as soon as we zoom in with macro photography, the truth is revealed. The deep gouges left by that 80 grit sandpaper are far too aggressive for the delicate touch of 320 grit to erase. Instead, those scratches are just burnished flat, creating a deceptive smoothness that hides a battlefield of scars beneath. The physics here are brutal. When you skip grits, each progressive grit isn't able to fully remove the damage from the previous one. Instead, you're polishing the peaks and leaving the valleys untouched. This inconsistency leads to uneven absorption of stains and finishes. Those valleys become dark, muddy streaks, and the overall grain clarity is lost. It feels smooth because the highest points are knocked down, but on a microscopic level, you're left with a mess. Let's hit the surface with a raking light again. The result? The board looks pitted and inconsistent. The light dances across the unevenness, highlighting every shortcut. The time saved in sanding is quickly lost when you have to fix, or worse, live with, the irreversible damage. Extreme grit jumping isn't a hack, it's a recipe for a finish you'll regret. Now comes the ultimate test, the stain reveal. There's really no hiding from a deep dark wipe-on stain. Every scratch, swirl, and inconsistency just gets magnified. I'm applying a rich walnut stain to both the control sample and our so-called hacked boards. Watching the stain wick into the wood is always, revealing. On the traditionally sanded control, the grain pops with clarity and vibrancy, every pore evenly accepting the pigment. But on the shortcut boards, pigtail scratches from grit jumping stand out like a sore thumb, and the lubricant sanded board shows patchy, uneven absorption with dull, lifeless areas. Let's compare side by side. Under the light, the control sample glows with depth. The hacked boards, by contrast, show blotches, streaks, and even spots where the finish has been outright rejected. The grain clarity is muddied, and instead of a uniform sheen, we get a distressing patchwork. This is what happens when you trust the hacks. You get a finish that can't hide its scars. But it's not just about looks. A compromised surface doesn't just look bad, it also affects the long-term durability of your finish. Those valleys and closed pores can lead to peeling, bubbling, or even total finish failure over time. The shortcuts may save you time now, but they cost you quality, and potentially a lot more time in the end. Let's break down the numbers. How much time do you actually save by using these hacks? Sure, skipping grits or using household lubricants might shave off a few minutes, but the real cost comes when it's time to fix your mistakes. Filling gouges, resanding, and struggling to even out a bad stain can easily triple your workload. What started as a time-saving shortcut becomes a time sink, and worse, the end result rarely matches a properly prepped surface. Long-term, these hacks compromise the finish's integrity. A proper sanding sequence not only looks better out of the gate, but it also ensures that stains and top coats bond evenly and last longer. The shortcut boards, they're prone to premature wear, peeling, and even total finish failure. This isn't just theory, it's physics and chemistry at work. Wood is unforgiving, and once you've compromised the surface, there's often no going back. But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's talk about progress. Sanding technology is evolving. 2026 abrasives are faster, last longer, and deliver more consistent results. By modernizing your workflow, you can achieve professional results without cutting corners. Instead of chasing hacks, invest in the right tools and materials. The reward? A finish you're proud of every single time. It's time for the final verdict. Let's rank these 5 viral hacks from harmless but useless to completely destructive. At the bottom, we've got the brown paper bag and dryer sheet tricks. They don't do much harm, but also don't meaningfully improve your finish. Next up, the compressed air shortcut. Skipping the tack cloth can leave dust behind, leading to bumps and finish rejection. Moving higher on the danger scale, the olive oil lubricant and extreme grit jump. These are the true culprits, compromising both the look and longevity of your finish. So, what's the alternative? Let me show you the streamlined 3-step protocol that delivers every time. First, start with a coarse grit to flatten and remove machine marks. Next, move through a sensible grit progression. Don't skip more than 1 grit at a time. Finally, finish with a high-quality fine grit, using a dust extraction system and tack cloth to ensure a pristine surface. That's it. No magic, just methodical attention to the basics. Here's my challenge to you. Embrace the foundational work. The satisfaction of a flawless finish is worth every minute you put into prep. Hacks may promise shortcuts, but mastery comes from understanding and respecting the process. Your work deserves nothing less. Finishing is a test of patience and discipline, and that's what makes it so rewarding. Today, we've seen just how seductive those viral hacks can be, but also how quickly they can undo hours of effort. The truth is, there's no substitute for solid preparation. Every minute spent doing it right pays off in a finish that stands up to scrutiny, not just today, but for years to come. I hope this deep dive inspires you to approach your next project with fresh eyes and a renewed respect for the basics. Remember, the goal isn't just to save time, it's to create something you're proud to show under the harshest light, from every angle. That kind of confidence doesn't come from hacks, it comes from mastery. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you found this helpful, let me know your own experiences in the comments. What shortcuts have you tried, and how did they turn out? Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives and hands-on tests. Until next time, keep building, keep learning, and above all, keep respecting the craft.